make sure I have time to answer questions for you guys. But I am Rachel Mitchell. I'm one of Melanie's personally sponsored, I can't talk y'all, personally sponsored coaches. And I have been a coach for 3.5 years now. Okay. And so I am always honored when she asks me to lead one of these calls, because I don't do it perfectly, but I love what I do. And so I'm always happy to share what is working for me. And so, like I said, I've been a coach for a few years now, and definitely during that time, today we are talking about posting. We're talking about IG posting, using IG stories, things like that. And I would say that my business has definitely, just like anyone else's, has evolved over time. So I started as a brand new coach. Like when I started, I feel like you could really just get away with that, like posting your sweaty selfie and say, I worked out, I did the 21-day fix, and, just be consistent in that, and people would be inspired and really want to know what you're doing. Now I think it's a little bit different. I don't think that the market is oversaturated in any way, so don't misunderstand this next point. But I think that people have just started to use Instagram, Facebook, whatever, more for sharing their fitness journey. Even people who are not coaches are on there sharing their fitness journey, which is awesome and amazing. But we have to set ourselves apart, right? We have to really nail down, what is our message? What is our purpose? Like, who are we speaking to? What does my story tell other people that is going to make them want to join me? And so that's really what I'm going to talk to you guys about today. And I want this to be very, very, I tend to talk. But I want you guys to ask me questions. I am going to mute you for right now while I am talking, but I want you guys to ask me questions, because I have a lot to share, but I kind of have to know where you guys are at too, because some of you guys may know all about Instagram, may know all about stories. You may be rocking it, and I don't know. And some of you maybe haven't even started. So if you could just start in the chat bar and tell me a little bit about yourself, like where are you at in your business? What are your struggles when it comes to posting and putting your message out there? And that will help me a little bit. That'll help me guide this conversation. I'm going to share a few slides that I actually created for my team call last Saturday and talk to you about some of the things that I shared with them. But when it comes to posting, so this is a maximizing your income group, right? That's the name of this group. And yes, we want to earn an income. We want to get people on Shakeology. We want people to start using our products, but they have to connect with us first before they can connect with our products. All right. So that's just the plain and simple truth. And your posts, whether you put a lot of time into them or not, your posts, what you put out there, tell your story. For a long time, my posts were not telling everything that I needed it to tell, I needed them to tell. But I've definitely learned over time. So if you're struggling with posting, if you're struggling with getting your message out there, don't be discouraged. I would honestly and truly say that it's just been in the last year and a half that I've really kind of hit my sweet spot as far as feeling comfortable telling what my story is. And of course, you've heard it from day one. Figure out what is your story. Like, what are those 5 to 6 things that separate you, that make you you? What do you struggle with? Do you work a full-time job while you coach? Do you have some type of health struggle? Are you a mom? Are you a grandparent? Are you an aunt? What are some things that really, if I asked your best friend, actually, if I asked 3 of your friends and I said, tell me about Marcy, tell me what her strengths are, what does she love? What would someone else say about you, that interests you? And those are kind of the things that you want to start putting out there. For me, my things are, obviously I work, I'm a full-time teacher. While I do this, I'm a boy mom. My faith is huge. It just overflows. It just is incorporated into everything that I do. I have had an eating disorder in the past. It was very mild, but I do talk about it. I struggle with high cholesterol and with really horrific PMDD, which is like PMS on steroids. And all of this has helped me so much. And so those are kind of the things that I talk about in my posts and that I always come back to. All right. And so telling your story, you should be telling it over and over and over. You know, like I struggled with that for a long time. Melanie was like, you know, you got to tell your story, tell it again, tell it a different way, tell a different part of it. And I was like, people are going to get tired of hearing me talk about this, but they don't. They don't. People love boldness. They love people who stand out. And that doesn't mean you have to be this huge extrovert, because I am not personally. But I've just gotten really good at telling my story. And, you know, honestly, I learned that a lot of it from Melanie. I took a lot of prayer and just a lot of practice. So no matter where you're at in your business, whether you're struggling with just putting your thoughts into words, whether you're struggling with learning about IG stories and getting comfortable making those little live 15-second videos, like you have to view everything as practice. Okay. And so I heard this on a podcast this last week about what makes great leaders. And he said two of the main things, this is a guy I respect a lot. He said the two biggest things that he could think of was insane curiosity and courage. All right. So you are here because you are insanely curious about getting better at posting and learning new strategies. So kudos to you. Now you just have to have the courage to go out there and do what we talk about today. Okay. So let me look at some of these messages that you guys have shared. I don't know how to scroll down. How do I scroll down? Shoot. Does anybody know how I can look at this? I can't see all your messages. I see Shannon, your struggles, how not to overdo it with your posts about health and fitness. Very important. That's very important. Let's see. I'm sure how to find a balance between sharing my story and doing more straight talk about what I do as a coach. Okay. So tip number 1, I want you to write this down. I will not share if I do not feel inspired. Okay, because nobody wants just a post just to be posted, all right? I will not share if I do not feel inspired. Now, if you're never inspired, that's a problem, okay? If you're never inspired, you're not doing your personal development. If you're never inspired, you're not checking into challenge groups. If you're never inspired, you're not doing your own workouts, okay? So just truth talk. Like if you're never inspired, that's a problem. But do not throw up a post just to get 3 to 5 posts a day. Honestly, I don't even teach 3 to 5 posts a day. I teach 2 or 3, max 3 posts a day, because if you put enough meat in your post, people are going to come back and read the one that you post tomorrow. If you are posting in IG stories, people are following you and watching you, and they're learning about you from that. Okay. So do not post just to post. I did that for like 2 years. It was exhausting. And I think people got bored with me. And so like, that is not what we want to happen. We want to post when we have a message. And for me personally, where do I find my words? My husband's like, always like, how do you keep coming up with all these words? Like, how do you keep putting all those posts out there? I'm like, I just read. Like, I read personal development. I read my devotion every morning. Then I go and I read my challenge groups and see what my challengers or my coaches are saying. And so like you can take anything and make it into a post. And so like objections that you're getting as you talk to people, turn those into a post. Just a really cool quote from your personal development that you read this morning before you did your workout. For a long time, almost every single post that I made as a new coach, it was inspired by the compound effect, by some quote that I got from the compound effect. And I would just take it and I would turn it into my story. All right. If you're struggling telling your story, which I think I saw some of you guys said that early on, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to pull up all of your chats. So if anybody knows how to do that, then just tell me. Let's see. I saw this person with a heart. No, I don't know how to do it. But anyway, so if you're struggling with even telling your story, then you need to sit down as soon as this call is over or before you go to bed tonight and write out your story. Like for the longest time, I didn't even know what my story was. Like I never put it together start to finish, but now it's pretty easy for me. Like I was a mom, 2 awesome, healthy little boys. My had never really struggled with losing weight. I'd always been able to just, do some quick diet or skip dinner 2 nights a week, and boom, the weight was gone. And then I had 2 children. I'd nursed them, and I was just found myself at age 33, like gaining weight. I was a runner. I couldn't figure out how to stop the weight gain, and I was really uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable with my skin. I was uncomfortable with my husband. My clothes didn't fit, and I was just cranky and tired and cranky and ugly to people. Not ugly outside. I don't think any of us are ugly, but that's my story. And so, like, I was struggling with hormones really bad. I didn't want to have to get back on cholesterol medicine because I was on it before I had my children, even at a very early age, at a very thin weight. I just struggled with it. It was hereditary. And so, like, I knew I had to do something. And I stumbled upon a blog post about portion control. I figured it out. I found my coach and her challenge group, and my life was changed. Like, I started to push play while my baby slept. I started to actually look at what I was eating and how much I was eating. And I didn't starve myself, but I started to eat to fuel my body and not to kill it. And so I started to see changes. I was inspired. I got results. I wanted to help other women. So you see, that's kind of my story. And so I just take pieces of that, and those are my posts, and so those are my stories that I put in Instagram stories. And so that is what you need to do. If you don't know what to say, you need to sit down and write out your story. All right. And it will come to you. It will come to you very, very quickly, very easily. You just got to sit down, take some time. Shannon, since we are very involved in the church ministry, I get a lot of negative feedback from there when I post about fitness nutrition coaching. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Shannon, where are you? Up there okay, I see you. So this has happened to me a couple of times, not a lot. So I remember being on our first Success Club trip, and it was a cruise, and I posted, we were out kayaking in Jamaica. Woohoo, it was awesome. And so I didn't post a lot of me in my bikini or anything like that because I knew it would offend people, and I don't really want to be a hindrance to anyone. So anyways, but I did. It was embedded in this album, this file of photos from that trip. And somebody at church started to talk about me and started to say things like the same, that I shouldn't be leading anything. And anyway, so it bothered me. It bothered me a lot. I did a lot of soul searching, and like you do, you have to live out your convictions. Now, if you don't think that what you are sharing is going against your faith or anything like that, then that's just something that you have to roll with, and you can't worry about, because honestly, Shannon, if I didn't do this, if I wasn't doing this, this is a ministry for me in a way that I never, ever could have reached women otherwise. Okay. And so I put that into a post. That's something I write down, and I put it into my coaching posts. So you have to weigh, you have to balance and weigh and do this soul searching and talk to God about that yourself and your husband, obviously. My husband, I remember the first time I shared my transformation photo was of me in a bikini, and I did not look good. If you go to my page, I shared it last night. And so I remember sharing that for the first time, and I had to ask him, I was like, are you okay with me doing this? And we talked about it and thought about it. And he was like, yeah, Rachel, if it helps people, then do it. And so I'm not that coach that's always working out in my sports bra or posting pictures, but I do share my transformation tastefully, I feel like, because I feel like it helps people, and that's what we're here to do. And so again, can't tell you what to do, but I have run across that, but only once or twice, and it's blown over. Nobody kicked me out of church or out of Sunday school or anything like that. And I just continue to share. And so I feel at peace myself, and my husband feels good with what I do. And so that is where we're at. And that's what I have to go on. Let's see. What else did you guys say? Somebody said did somebody say that they have trouble posting consistently? Did somebody say that? If you said that, please post that in the chat bar. Because I hear that a lot, and I don't want to I'm not going to be a jerk here, but the only reason that you choose when you post or what you post, right? So I see a lot of new coaches say, I have trouble posting, or I just can't have trouble posting consistently. And now if you are tied to a job or something like that, and you just if you work a 12-hour shift, and you can't post something, then you just have to let your followers know that. If they know you're a nurse or you're a doctor or whatever, and you work these really long shifts, then you post when you're not working. And you just show people how you balance that lifestyle, how you make your workouts a priority with the time that you have to do them. If you coach and you're making a coaching post, then okay, so all this, guys, you're just inviting people into your story. Think of posting that way. I'm inviting people into my story. You may have 5 kids and it's crazy and wild. Show the crazy and the wild. You may work a full-time job and you can't post it all while you work. You can schedule some posts if you want to schedule a post, but honestly, nowadays, I wouldn't even do that. I would be completely and totally real and invite people into your story. I'm a teacher. I'm a college history instructor, so I'm not in a classroom all day. But, if you're a teacher, like I have been at work all day, like I got my workout in this morning, I couldn't share anything, like from time to time, tell people what you're doing. But what matters is the consistency in the posting schedule that you have created. All right. Not what Melanie does, not what I do. But don't just throw up a post just to throw up a post, but tell your story in your post. And it's going to look different. It's supposed to look different for different people, and so that, like, I'm not going to talk about, I did make some stories about traveling the world, but, like, I haven't done nearly as much as what Melanie has done. So I'm not going to try to be like Melanie and talk about the coaching opportunity like Melanie talks about it. Like she lost 30 pounds. I lost 12 pounds, like our stories are different. And so don't ever, ever, ever compare your story to someone else. But I'm going to share this right here. With you guys. And I'm not talking about inviting today unless you guys like need me to. That was part of my team call the other day. But I did talk to my team about their posts and what to post. And again, like I said, you do you. You got to post your life. Don't post about somebody else's life. Don't copy words from another coach. You can copy like poses and things like that, but if it's not you, don't do it. The more real that you are, the more that people will connect with you. And so like, I like to think about whenever I post, whether it's just a IG post, a Facebook post, or a story, like I want people to feel like they have a relationship with me. So I talk to people like I'm talking to you, like I'm sitting like right in front of you. And so I like to, again, just invite people into my story. Like I tease, I kind of joke about this with my team, but I'm like, I could take a post about washing the dishes and turn it into a challenge group post. Like seriously, like that's kind of how you want to think about things. If you go home and you're making dinner and you're doing homework and, your house is a mess and like the dogs are scratching at the back door, like that's my life. Like I can take that and turn it into a post about health and fitness and, hold on just a second. Okay. And, like make that into a challenge group post. When I say tell your story, which story do we talk about? What do you mean? Like coaching or challenge groups? What do you mean? It's all one story, honestly. Like you can talk about your health and fitness and challenge groups and it can still be a coaching post. It just depends on what are you trying to accomplish. If you're not at Success Club, you need to be telling your health and fitness story for sure. But that doesn't mean you can't talk about coaching in your posts. But like I said, just talk about things like right where you are. If life is a hectic, crazy mess and you haven't cleaned your bathroom in a month, talk about it. Like talk about the fact that you're so busy, like you used to be so concerned about having everything perfect, like making sure the house was picked up and all the toilets were cleaned, and you stressed over it and you didn't get anything else done and you didn't take time for yourself. But now it's okay. Like I haven't cleaned my bathroom in like a month, but I'm going to. But right now I'm going to do my workout first because, I am making myself a priority. Do you know how many women could relate to the fact that you haven't cleaned your bathroom in a month? I do clean my bathroom more than that, but sometimes it has happened. Okay. And so you are just inviting people into where you are right here, right now. Okay. And another thing that I really like to do in my posts is that I like to ask questions. So in my post, like this morning wasn't a really good example, but I talked about how, like I wanted to skip this one workout move in the 80-day obsession workout. And, I said, but I can't, because I can't lead with integrity. I know I would know if I skipped it. And then I said something about, like, is there something really hard that you want to do or you need to do today, but you're kind of scared to do it? So I asked a question. Hopefully people would respond. Like the other day I made a post about health and fitness or a recipe or something, and I asked a question about kids. Like, take things that you're sharing about right now and ask a question. It doesn't have to be related to health and fitness, but just start to ask people questions like, where do you get your kids' diapers? How long was it before your kids slept through the night, or how long before they were potty trained? And then you can still go on to talk about other things in regards to health and fitness. So the more questions that you ask in your post and the more that people start to respond, one, they're building a relationship with you. Okay. They're starting to interact with you. Two, those are people that you can go and message and start conversations with. Okay. And so you are giving people the opportunity to start a relationship with you and to reach out to you when you change the focus of your post from, I need to hit Success Club, I need to make a challenge group post, like I'm just going to throw this out there and ask for women who want to lose weight. No, I'm going to tell part of my story. I'm going to talk about the fact that I'm sitting here in my living room watching the Olympics, and I'm so inspired by all of these crazy, courageous, men and women who never gave up when it got hard. And I want to look for women who are just tired of circling that mountain of yo-yo diets. And I want women who will not give up on themselves whenever this gets hard. So like, see, I just turned watching the Olympics into a challenge group post. I was inspired. Like I talk about health and fitness, and you can turn it into a challenge group post, and people relate to that. People read that. They scroll past all the sweaty selfies if they're the same every day. But if you show a picture of you sitting with your feet kicked up on the couch on the coffee table watching the Olympics with you can even put Shakeology in your hand. You don't even have to talk about it. But, that is what people stop to read. So invite them into your story right where you are at. And when you do that, you can have freedom and confidence in the fact that when you do reach out to people to invite them to a challenge group, that they kind of know who you are and they're going to want to have a conversation with you. All right. So that's really important too. I say share more than just your sweaty selfie. So this is a picture of me with my husband. It was from, was today? I don't know what day it was. One day, maybe it was last week. But anyway, so this is like, we work out together sometimes. He does not like to be in my workout videos, but he does let me take a picture of him sometimes. We were just being silly. We thought the camera had finished, and we snapped this photo. And I posted that because I was like, sometimes the real pictures are the best ones. And, like we work out together sometimes. He's important to me. I love him. Like, I love that we can share that time together. And that is, that people loved that photo, and I got lots of comments and lots of likes on it. Okay. And so be real. Like, don't just post a sweaty selfie just to say I worked out. Talk about why you worked out. What happened while you worked out? Did you listen to personal development? Did you listen to praise music? What did God tell you in your devotion that morning? Like, what did you hear in your personal development before you did your workout? Like, think about along those lines. Do I have a posting schedule? I do post my workout selfie every morning, for the most part, and it's not always, like I said, just a selfie, sweaty selfie. It can be anything. And you can if you go to my Instagram, you can follow me. It's Rachel J. Mitchell. But I do post at least once a day. Sometimes it's 3 times a day. Sometimes it's 2 times a day. It just depends. On the weekends, I really try to focus on not being on social media so much and being with my family, but I might make 1 or 2 posts a day. And I definitely put a few stories in there, but I wouldn't say I have a posting schedule. I typically make about, do my workout. People know I work out. And then I try to make a post about coaching 2 or 3 times a week at least. If I'm recruiting for challenge groups, I do make 2 or 3 challenge group posts a week. But again, they're not like what I used to do. I used to have like the image with the words on there, like, this one this month was Elimination Boot Camp. I used to put a start date on there and my email, but it's not like that anymore because people don't respond to that anymore. What I do now is like I will share a picture of me and my kids, doing something together. And I'll talk about the fact that, like I used to be so down on myself and so tired at the end of the day that I couldn't keep up with them, and now here we are playing baseball in the front yard, and how my life has changed in the last 3 years, and how just one decision to take action and to make a choice to do something for myself has paid off so greatly. And now I'm looking for more women to help, mamas who might be tired and cranky and just, feel defeated like I was. You don't have to live that way. I want to help you get started working out at home, changing the way you eat, making your health a priority. And I have a new, faith-focused boot camp that starts, February 19th. We're going to work out together. We're going to challenge each other. I'll teach you how to meal plan, share my favorite recipes. So I turn something like that into a challenge group post. And I do that 2 to 3 times a week, or as I feel inspired, honestly. But I say, don't put a link. Don't put a link in any post, honestly. I never put links in my posts because 1, Facebook doesn't like it. 2, people see links and they run. I do personally. So if you're going to use a link, a Wufoo link or something, I put it in the comments of my post, my challenge group post, but I don't do it in every post. And I see coaches that do that. And I feel like that just makes you kind of look like a hunter, somebody who's just always in every post. Your only purpose is to find people. And so I say, don't put links in every post. You save them for 2 to 3, 4, maybe times a week. Because if you're putting good quality content out there, if you're putting content out there that people can actually engage with and interact with, then there are your invites. There are your people. They are going to start to reach out to you. So that's really important too. And definitely always, guys, I shouldn't even have to say this. Like, you probably know it. Add value. So, don't make every post about just fitness. Share a recipe, share some tips on how you eat clean when you travel, share about like your favorite way to get grass stains out of your kids' pants, be sharing more than just Beachbody. All right. And like I said before, invite people into your journal. How has Beachbody touched every part of your life? Because again, for me, it's not just been a physical transformation. It has definitely been, like a financial transformation. It's been a spiritual transformation. Beachbody has touched so much more than just my physical health. My husband gets up and works out with me almost every single morning. Like his family, they struggle with heart disease and high cholesterol. And so me doing that, sharing that part of my story reaches a lot of people too. You're not selling these workout programs and Shakeology, you're selling your lifestyle. How is your life different because of that decision you made to join a challenge group or to become a coach? And again, like I said this a lot, be real. Transparency is huge. People want to see real life. They don't want to see, pose pictures. This is one of my coaches, and her little boy Connor is a mess. Like she's always chasing him around the house, and he's just hard. I mean, he's a toddler, but he's precious and he's cute, but he's hard to keep up with. And so she's always sharing stuff like that. And she's really good at that. And think about it this way too. Like, who do you want to recruit? Like, who do you want to recruit into your challenge groups, into your coaching team? You're creating that vibe for your team and your challenge groups in your post. And so give people a glimpse into what it would be like to be in your challenge group through your posts. If you share something funny in your challenge groups or one of your challengers does, like talk about it on social media or in your stories. If you are a person of faith and you share something that was really on your heart that morning in your challenge group, talk about it on social media. If you do challenges in your challenge groups, like share pictures of your challengers planking and talk about what you're doing. And so that's really important. Just invite people into what you have the content. You have things to post about. I just know that for me and for some people that I know as coaches, like I used to just way overthink it. I used to think I had to talk like Melanie or look like Melanie or live like Melanie, and I didn't. Like, all the content that I need to post about every single day is there. It's my life, and I just have to put it into words. Instagram stories. Okay, so if you're, I don't know why this red streak is on my screen, but if you're not using Instagram stories, like, you have to start. Like, you have to start. Like, before we get off of a call, this call, remind me, like, we're going to snap a picture of us on this call today, and we're all going to post it in our Instagram stories. Okay. Instagram stories are just us being able to post about, like, the behind the scenes things. That's what I want you to think about in regards to that. Now, some things that I do on IG stories are a little more polished, like I've done the sneak peek into coaching and talked about my challenge groups and stuff there. But it's more so just hey, I can stop. I don't have to put words into a post and type it up and take a perfect picture. Like, I can get on there and just do a little live chat. I can do 15-second blurbs, and tell people what's on my heart, or invite them to a challenge group, or talk about my kids, got muddy in the yard and they traipsed through my house. It's just real life. Definitely ask questions. So this picture right here is kind of faded out, but I took this picture of me with all this food in my arms because I had just done a live video on my Facebook page about how to read labels. And I thought, okay, well, I'll take this picture, I'll put some words over it, and ask people if they want a copy of the video that I made. And they did. Like, I just snapped the picture really fast. I've added some words to it. I added that poll in there. And so for everybody, with polls, like, I don't do a yes or no, because I don't like it. It's like a mental thing for me. Like, if people tell me no, it just kind of takes the wind out of my sails a little bit. So I don't ever put no as an option on there unless I'm just being cheeky. And so I always do, like, if I ask, do you want a copy of this link of that video? Yes, please. Or shoot me an email. If they say shoot me an email, I send them a message and I'm like, what's your email? Then I have their email. Okay. It's like an email collector. And so polls are an awesome way to connect with people and to start relationships. And they don't even have to be all about health and fitness. They can be like, I did one the other day about a book I was reading, and I asked people if they had read it, like, it was just a poll about that. I've done polls about so much stuff. And so, like, just use polls as a way to interact with people and to start conversations. Definitely use polls as a way to ask people if they want to join your challenge group or join your team. And again, you don't have to say, do you want to join my team, and be like, yes or no. I mean, you're going to get lots of no's. There are actually people on Facebook, I'm convinced, on Instagram, that just go through people's stories and vote no. Like, I'm convinced, like, that's what they do all day. So, like, if you say, do you want to join my team? Or, like, I did a series on travel the other day, and I was like, do you want to travel with me? And I said, like, heck yeah, or send me some more information, And so those are the options I use for my polls. I love polls. Do your power hour in your stories. If you read something from a devotion or from your personal development, like, snap a picture of it, do a screenshot, post it in your stories, and underline your favorite quote, or, say, man, this, do something in words so that you can share your heart there. If you are working out, obviously you need to be doing your workouts in your stories. You don't have to do 15 stories. You can do 2. You can do 1. It doesn't matter. But show people, be proof of the products, share a Shakeology recipe. I share pictures of my Shakeology in my stories all the time, but I don't ever say the word Shakeology, I might talk about vitamins or superfoods or something like that, and just show people that I am drinking it, so that when I go to invite them and I talk about Shakeology in the invite, in the description, they're not like, what is she talking about? They already have an idea that is part of what I do. Recognize your challengers and your coaches in your stories. I love to do that. I will just take a screenshot of one of my coaches and be like, Jade is rocking it. She's pregnant. She's working out. She hasn't felt good, but she's showing up every day. Go follow her. That's a shout out for, like, one of my coaches. Show people what being in a challenge group is like. Open up your computer screen, log into your My Challenge Tracker app or your Facebook group, wherever it is, and, like, just scroll through on the screen and video it and talk about, like, show people women who are working out, show people their stories, what they're saying. You can do that without violating privacy, because obviously people can't, like, read names as you scroll through. But that is really good. Let's see. I don't have that picture. Share your transformation story every week in Instagram stories, every single week. Again, you cannot tell your story too much. You really can't. And two, those stories go away in 24 hours. So, it's not like people are like, oh, there she is again. Like I've seen this every day. They don't, unless you post it every day. But share your transformation every single Tuesday in your stories and add value. It's really easy to get into the habit of just like inviting and doing your power hour in your stories and just talking about like your challenge groups or coaching or things like that. Be sure to share tips. Like last night I did a series of stories and showed people how I made our dinner in the Instant Pot last night, and I didn't do anything like that. It was just me sharing a recipe and showing how I did it. So make sure you're adding value there as well. And now let me make this clear. In everything that I am telling you, you're posting and creating engagement and doing stories and using polls, none of that replaces one-on-one invites. None of it replaces your power hour. You still have to add friends. You still have to connect with people one-on-one. You still have to invite people and follow up. Those are the basics of this business, and they will always be the basics of this business. So if you're not doing those things and you're not hitting Success Club, that is why. And so every single day, I'll just tell you, like for me personally, I am like the connecting queen. And I don't do it in mass numbers necessarily, but every single day I add at least 10 new friends. Every single day I connect with at least 5 new women. And when I say connect, I mean I like or comment on their posts, or I send a message about something unrelated to Beachbody. Every single day I invite women to a challenge group, to a free group, to a coaching opportunity. Like every single day I'm doing those things, and that momentum, that compound effect, it just keeps rolling on, y'all. It just keeps rolling on. And that enables me to hit Success Club pretty quickly at the beginning of every month. And, it's easy again to like fall into that thing of like, okay, I'm going to post, I'm going to get this many people, I'm going to hit this number of Success Club, and then I'll move on. No, those are people. Those are people that you're talking to. Your Success Club numbers represent individuals, like living, breathing, blood flowing through their bodies. They all have goals and aspirations. And so we're in the relationship building business. That is what we do with our posts, with our conversations, with our challenge groups, with our coach trainings. It's all about people, and we have to keep our focus there. And I know you guys have talked a lot about offering something else if they're not ready to join a challenge group. So I won't go a lot into that, but that is definitely something, again, I feel like has helped me be successful. So like just this week, I had 2 women who said no, they didn't want to pay for a challenge pack. And so instead of just saying, okay, well, I'll follow up with you next month, or okay, let me know when you're ready, I said, well, I understand that. I found them. And so then I offered them the free membership and a copy of one of my meal plans. And I was like, here, go create this free membership. There are some workouts you can access. You can go ahead and try Beachbody On Demand, and I'll give you a meal plan to get started with, okay? And so that was me adding value. Offer something else if they're not ready. People tell you no, but that just really means not right now, okay? And so let's see. What questions do you guys have? That is kind of like the heart of what I wanted to share, what Melanie wanted me to share. So I've unmuted you. Somebody talk. Tell me what you need. What do you have questions about? Anybody?
Now, Dr. Mandelbaum will be coming in here and telling me exactly how he's going to do this.
Yeah. Shannon, I would say Instagram is a must in Beachbody. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I think you can still definitely build your business with your Facebook page. And, I use my like page a lot. Like I'm focusing right now on growing Instagram followers and growing followers on my like page. And I am paying, but not a whole lot. Like I have like a like page ad that I run, and it's very inexpensive, but it gets me a lot of followers a day. I use STEM Social. Yeah. See, Instagram is tedious to me. Like I do use STEM Social. Have you guys heard of that? I told you guys about that. Hold on, I'll type it. I don't, for a long time, I totally stayed away from outside sources because they can be icky. And I know as a new coach, a lot of top coaches use them. And you would just get these random messages on your Instagram post, and it was just icky. But STEM Social, you actually put in there like some hashtags to start. It's just doing the work for you, honestly. Some hashtags to put in there for them to search and to find people to friend. They don't comment on people's posts or anything, but they do the follow unfollow thing for you automatically. And so your job then is to connect with the people that they follow for you. Okay. And so what I do is I'll go through and every day, and there's even an option to actually message people one-on-one, which I do use that and I like it a little bit, but I have to turn it off sometimes. But like what I'll do is I'll get notifications that, you know, I've got all these new people following me. And every day I'll just take a minute and I'll look at them. I'll go to their Instagram profile. And if they look like somebody I would follow or connect with, like I'll like and comment some of their posts. And if it's not somebody, like I don't follow men, like I'm not seeking out men to help. I'll just look for women. And so I'll unfollow, but they do it for me too. You know, so they'll follow a bunch of people and they'll kind of watch our interaction and then they'll unfollow people who maybe haven't followed me back or something like that.
I'm falling asleep.
So it's a really good tool. I'm enjoying that, but I do think, you know, I don't think you have to pay to grow Instagram, but it's the same thing as Facebook. You add people, you connect with them, and you start conversations. So for me personally, I was telling Melanie the other day, like I was looking at my recruits, my Success Club numbers, and about half, at least half was Instagram. It was definitely Instagram. Just from, I mean, like I'm totally cold marketing it, you know. I rarely get anybody from my warm market anymore. And it's just, and I add people, I follow them, I build relationships slowly. I don't jump into cold invites. Like I'm not going to invite someone unless I have followed them for a little while. I've been adding value on their page, commenting, liking, you know, I send a hey girl message. I definitely build relationships first. That's how I grow my business. Somebody else. Okay. Oh, sorry, Sherry. Hold on. I see this. It's the end of the month and I have not hit my goals yet. Where should I focus?
Usually people start feeling some of the effects.
Okay. So like, have you been have you been posting about a challenge group, inviting to a challenge group? Where's Sherry? There she is. Hey. Okay.
I've been posting very consistently, and I've actually had a lot of people, you know, follow me, but the actual action of joining me, that's where I'm struggling right now.
Okay. All right. So are you getting a lot of objections?
Like this one?
I'm getting a lot of people that say they want to join. I've actually sent out some people on ShareCart, and then they kind of go ghost on me. And then I try to follow up, but I just get to a point where I don't want to be constantly, you know, every couple of days following up, you know, I kind of let it go. So now I'm trying to focus my energy on new people that are perhaps ready to start, if that makes sense.
Definitely. So one tip, and you may not be doing this, like I just heard you say something, but like even when you put those ShareCart links out there, you keep inviting people, you know, like that's something I had to learn the hard way. You keep inviting people, you keep connecting. And so I would definitely make like a public post. Are you using stories at all?
Just in the last few days, I've been really immersing myself in IG stories because it's powerful. And it's funny that you asked, because I kind of got to a point where I wasn't growing in getting new followers. And just in the last week, I've gotten a lot more than I had before. So it's working.
Yeah. So that's the thing, you know, people come to social media, they're looking to watch, they're looking to read, they're looking to learn about you. So don't be shy about using stories. So, you know, I would definitely make like a challenge group post. I would get real, you know, like I would maybe even share something that you've never shared before from your story, that you think some other women could connect with. But I would do some IG stories on just do a couple of live videos and really share your heart. I'll tell you one thing that worked really well for me this month is that I did a live video on my Facebook, my like page, and I shared my heart and my inspiration and kind of what my focus was for the challenge group that I started this month. And it was, I mean, I actually got a little emotional, which I don't love that, but like I really shared from my heart. Hold on, somebody tell these people. I got really real with people, and all I did was whenever I start conversations the way I normally do. I find out people's why, what help them connect, and I ask them questions. And then when it gets to the challenge group description part, for me to actually explain how my challenge groups work, like I just inserted that link to that live video that I had made into that challenge group description. So everybody from Instagram, everybody that I was emailing, they clicked on it and they went and watched it. And they were like, oh my gosh, like hearing you talk about this challenge group, I am joining. You know, like that, them to hear me share my story, share my heart, share what the focus of the group was going to be, was powerful. And so like the more that you are doing that, the more that people can see and hear and know you better, the more they're going to trust you and the more likely they are going to be to sign up. So that's where stories is powerful, because you can talk, people can see your expressions, they can understand your heart. And so I would do like, I don't know what the focus of your challenge groups is, but I would share, you know, I would share your mission for helping women. I talk about my mission a lot in my posts, in my videos and things like that. So I would do a couple of series, and I would honestly do it every single day. And at the end, you know, like I think you can overdo it with polls for sure. But if you're trying to hit Success Club by the end of the month, like be bold. Like be bold in your invites and in your stories, and use that poll option. And like every couple of days, ask people if they want to join your challenge group, you know, and even get detailed, talk about in your stories what you do. But if you haven't been using those, you know, I would try that. It can't hurt.
Thank you.
Anybody else? You might have to unmute yourself. I had to mute a couple of you because it was loud. Has this been helpful? Has this been helpful? All right, so now get out your phone. Okay. Yeah, get out your phone. We're all going to do a story. And I could post this in the group too if I need to. But are y'all ready? Because we're all going to smile at the same time and take a picture. I'm going to count. Oh, I got to turn it around. Huh. Okay. All right. You ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now you can go put that in your stories and say like mastermind call or, I don't know, bold, courageous women, you know, whatever your brand is, you know, like mine, I talk about courage a lot. And so I'll probably say something about mastermind call with some courageous ladies who are, you know, making a difference or something like that. So just, it shows people our community. It shows people that we actually have to work this business. Like we have to work at it. And it's a cool thing. Stories are awesome. So, but again, yeah, y'all feel free to follow me. Feel free to ask me questions that you have about anything that I do. And thank you for taking the time to sit here and listen to me. You are so, so welcome. And I'll post the recording too. So, y'all have a good day, and I'm rooting for you, and you can do it. Like you can hit Success Club. You can find 3 women to help. I promise. It's not always easy, but you got this. All right. Okay, guys. Bye.